Thank you, Konami. I knew that the Malefic support was not over, just as I hoped for in this video right here. Click on it to watch it. Malefic Paradox Gear is a level 1 Dark Machine effect monster with 0 attack and 0 defense. You can only use each effect of this card's name once per turn. Its first effect says, if a face-up field spell card is on the field, you can tribute this card. Special summon 1 Malefic Parallel Gear from your deck. Then add 1 Malefic monster from your deck to your hand except Malefic Parallel Gear. Its second effect says, if you would banish a monster to special summon a Malefic monster from your hand using its own procedure, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard instead. Here are some reasons why this card is useful. It is a +1 just by itself. Having the ability to thin out your deck and search out things just adds a lot of consistency to the deck and free up space for the deck for you to use other things. I've seen Malefic decks where they just cram a whole bunch of unnecessary things just to make the deck consistent, but in the end it just makes the deck brick more. Another reason why this card is useful, it immediately sets up your board to summon Malefic Paradox Dragon. It's a 1 card Malefic Paradox Dragon, and that monster already has 4,000 attack. It's a 1-for-1 target, which gives you another boost of consistency. It can trigger Diablo's effect. Diablo's allows you to special summon itself from the hand or graveyard if you tribute a dark monster, and this is a dark monster. It eliminates to some capacity the brick factor the deck is known to have by allowing you to substitute itself for the removal of a Malefic monster. The question is, if I run the Malefic Blue Eyes, do I still need to run the Blue Eyes in my deck to use this effect? Because it does say, the second effect, that if you would banish a monster to special summon a Malefic monster from your hand using its own procedure, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard instead. But if I don't have a Blue Eyes in my deck, how would I be able to try to banish it in the first place? That's just the question. But let's just say that you don't need to run the Blue Eyes Malefic Dragon and the Blue Eyes. You can just use this instead and not have those extra monsters in your deck that you do not need. You can always put Malefic Paradox Gear back into the graveyard to use it later by activating Burial from a different dimension. You can also reuse it by activating Dark Eruption. You activate Dark Eruption, you add it from your graveyard to your hand, you normal summon it, you add Malefic Parallel Gear to your hand, then you add 1 Malefic monster from your deck to your hand. It also allows Malefic to possibly synchro into a level 3 now. This card really adds some light onto Malefic, especially if you combine it with Dark Lair and Virus support, Allure of Darkness, and trade in for draw power, Melody of Awakened Dragon to be able to search out and to add more monsters for consistency. One of the downsides I discovered with this card is if you draw into your Malefic Parallel Gear or you use them all and you draw into this, guess what? Now you brick. You cannot add a Malefic monster from your deck to your hand unless you special summon Malefic Parallel Gear from your deck. Once that's gone, that's it. So you gotta be able to find a way to add Malefic Parallel Gear back into the deck to recycle and reuse over and over again. And there are some ways. We have Yugioh, the Ultimate Forbidden Lord, and this creates some combos in the deck itself. One is Dark. You can special summon it from your hand by shuffling all monsters in the graveyard back into your deck, which now you can reuse all of your monsters. If you combine Yugioh, the Ultimate Forbidden Lord, with another level 10, you can possibly exceed summon into Gustav Mack and deal 2,000 damage. So we looked at the good of the card. What is the issue with this card? The issue is you need a field card on the board to even begin, and that's the downside to Malefic decks in general. But guess what? We have this card. It says you can discard this card, add 1 Layer of Darkness from your deck to your hand. Not only is this monster an allure target, it can also search out a field spell card and add it to your hand so you can activate, thinning out your deck in the process. And if you don't need to use this effect, you can use its second effect. It says if you can tribute 1 dark monster, draw a card. That's good. But it also says if you tribute a dark monster other than this card to activate this effect, you can add 1 dark monster with 2,000 defense or more from your deck to your hand. If you combine Malefic with Lair of Darkness, you can add more consistency with the deck. Not only do you get instant access to a field card, but a monster, if you use the second effect, can possibly search out a Malefic Cyber End Dragon. It has more than 2,000 defense. A Malefic Stardust Dragon. It has more than 2000 defense or 2000 defense. A Malefic Red Eyes Black Dragon, it has 2000 defense. Or a Malefic Blue Eyes White Dragon, it has 2000 or more defense. This by itself gives you two options: field card and or search out a Malefic monster too. It might not be direct Malefic support, but it will work. So there are some ways to make a good Malefic deck, and there are so many other ways to utilize this card that I have not mentioned. So you can add to the discussion by leaving a reply in the comment section below. Thanks for watching your Yu-Gi-Oh channel, and now end my turn. Go.